Welcome back to AgriTalk from Husker Harvest Days in Grand Island, Nebraska. We are working with the folks at Mosiac at the Central Valley Ag Display here in the Varied Industries tent at Husker. And Neil Schumacher, regional agronomist, joins us now. We're going to talk about trying to best utilize all this new technology in our hybrids with all the stacks and the traits with insect and herbicide resistance and all the potential that is there. But how do we get all that potential realized? And Neil's going to join us to help us with that. And Neil, that really is the key. I mean, this technology is great, helps us fight weeds, helps us to fight insects. Later, we're going to talk with folks from Monsanto about drought-tolerant corn as well. All this technology is great, but you've got to be able to maximize the potential still in that corn plant, and there are ways that they can do that.
Right, and I think the thing that we're seeing with 90 to 100% of our customers is the adaptation to technology, especially in corn traits, is pretty broadly accepted in Nebraska. We've had a lot of insect pressure over the years. We always fight weeds and diseases, and anything that farmer can purchase that guarantees him the option not to have to manage that or pay to have it scouted and to eliminate that risk potential has been well accepted. If we look at our trait base on our corn products, take away the 20% refuge, which leaves you about 80%, we're probably 70 to 75% of that with some type of trait in it that we're selling our customers. So the acceptance level and the understanding of less things that I need to manage or hire someone to manage has been well accepted in Nebraska, and I think that'll continue.
So as farmers make that investment in that technology, then they want to make sure they get the yields that help pay for it. So how do they go about that?
You're right. Technology in the seed industry has given them a great opportunity to increase their yields. The rest of the puzzle is the fertility and the crop protection that goes along with it. What we're doing at Central Valley Ag is pushing hard with our growers to get a better understanding of the fertility in their field and then maximize their fertility levels to bring that more fully exploit the potential that seed trait that they bought and the technology they bought in the bag of seed can have the maximum yield potential. So we're grid sampling with our customers. We're down to 2.5 acre grids to understand that field and that farm as well as we can. And then we're taking the fertility programs that are out there and the products that are out there and building a better fertility program to help maximize that yield.
We're going to talk more about that, but let's start. It starts still with all the technology. It still starts with soil testing, but that sounds like that's more refined now than it used to be.
I think farmers have understood that taking 1 or 2 samples in a field every 5 or 10 years is no longer the way to go. They're understanding that their cost of inputs and the risk of their investment needs to have as much management that's economically reasonable for them to maximize that yield potential because they've got a lot at stake, a lot more money per acre sitting out there. And so we've designed a lot of fertility programs. One of the new additions, of course, comes from Mosiac's Micro Essentials. We've run hard with a product called MESZ the last couple years, and we've built a great following amongst our customer base to the point where really it's interesting that we're finding ourselves probably be running out of product in the spring because we've got such good interest, and part of that is probably the desire to maximize the yields. The rest of it, the fact that the product's working well.
And the more you take out of that soil with these great yields, you got to put that back.
Right, and we know that there's one variable that we can't control is Mother Nature. So it's going to deal us a wild card every year. If we can eliminate all the other risks, or as much of the other risks as we can, that's a great opportunity for us to try to get the most yield potential we can. The thing that's interesting about the product from Mosiac is that it's got 4 different nutrients encapsulated into every granule. So we know that there are some nutrients that are very important during specific times of that plant's growing cycle. Nitrogen is an important process always, but we've got sulfur and zinc along with the phosphorus built into every granule. So we're getting the best uniform spread of that product that we can. If you looked at sulfur and zinc, a lot of the times when we blended that, the tough part of that was we had a very small amount of that product being spread per acre. If you had wind or you had uneven mixing processes, you didn't get a good uniform blend of that product spread across your field. We're capitalizing on that with this product because it gives you the best spread you can get, so we've got access to that from our roots as well as we can get.
We're going to talk more about that. We need to take a break. Neil Schumacher, regional agronomist with Central Valley Ag, is with us here at Husker Harvest Days. Stay with us. Much more to come. It's halftime on AgriTalk. And welcome back. We are at Husker Harvest Days, Grand Island, Nebraska, day number 2. And after the strong winds, I think just about everybody has their displays back up and a good crowd making their way around the grounds. We're working with folks here at Husker Harvest Days. We are in the Varied Industries tent, and we are in pretty good shape. I know that wind blew through here pretty hard and caused some disruption, but everybody has things back together now. We're working with the folks at Mosiac and at Central Valley Ag, their display here. Neil Schumacher, regional agronomist for Central Valley Ag, is with us. Neil, before the break, we were talking about the soil testing and using a granular fertilizer and trying to maximize the yields out of all this new technology in the hybrids. Let's talk again about granular fertilizer and what all can be all the benefits of having all these nutrients in one granule.
Well, it allows you to do a much better job of an application process. It may eliminate one extra pass across the field because you've got 4 products in there that are very essential to crop production. It gives you the best uniform spread. Like I said, with all 4 of those nutrients combined in every prill or granule of fertility, you know you're getting the best uniform spread you can for that plant to get the best access to that and maybe help maximize its yield potential because it's receiving 4 nutrients uniformly across all of your acres.
So, and a key is to help get those plants off to a good start, right?
Absolutely. And here again, a lot of times we overlook a little bit of sulfur and zinc, but they're especially important early on in the plant's life, especially zinc, which is a very minor nutrient in the amount of pounds we apply, but very important early on in that corn plant's life cycle. So some of the keys that this brings to the table is quick access, better early response, and hopefully better yield response.
So get the plant off to a good start, but then also have those nutrients there throughout the growing season.
Correct. One of the things about sulfur, which is a product needed throughout the growing seasons, it has two different forms of sulfur in it. So you've got a sulfate sulfur, which is readily available to help that plant early on, and another half of that being elemental, which breaks down later in the growth cycle to deliver sulfur base to that plant as it's grain filling, which is key also.
You talked earlier about the products from Mosiac that farmers need to look at to accomplish this. And again, tell us a little bit more about that. What's available to them?
We have 2 products that we handle a fair bit of. One of them being the MESC product, which would basically be your complement and replacement for MAP because it includes sulfur and zinc that MAP doesn't. The other one is K-Mag, which has some potassium in it, and that also complements a lot of those sandier soils or those soils that maybe are a little more deficient in potassium than some heavier soils might be.
Okay, we started all this off, this discussion, by saying we have these traits now that protect the plant from insects and, of course, from weed, the herbicide tolerance and all that. But the key is here to maximize the yield. So using these products and going with the granular fertilizers, getting the micro essentials to those plants, what kind of yields can we expect? What difference will they see?
Well, the nice part of this, what we've seen in the last 2 years of looking at our trials within our CVA geography is we're actually looking at both corn and soybeans. If I took an average, we're looking at a 2 to 5% yield increase. That may not sound like a lot, but 5% of 200 bushels is a pretty good little bump. You can take a 10 bushel increase real easily, really for no additional investment. The nice part of that is we're helping maximize some yield without actually spending more money just by better distribution of these products.
So farmers, as they're going to fields now to harvest, now is a good time to take note and think about what to do next year.
Right, and the feedback we're getting from a lot of our customer base is they're actually seeing differences in their fields where they've spread the MESC products from Micro Essentials and giving us the feedback, which is nice. Rather than us going out and looking for it, they're actually seeing some of this in their fields, which is really what we were hoping for. And I know we couldn't be happier with that kind of response, and we look forward to another banner year of promoting and spreading more acres of this product.
So the proof is in the fields and then in the result.
Right, and that'll be coming quickly as harvest gets we're in the first steps of harvest. It'll be in full gear by the end of the week and further on the way this weather looks like it's going to be. And we fully expect the Micro Essentials products to demonstrate that yield response that we've been promoting the last couple of years.
Great. Thanks, Neil. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Neil Schumacher, regional agronomist for Central Valley Ag. We're at their display here working with them and Mosiac here at Husker Harvest Days in Grand Island, Nebraska.